All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Raz, your host, and I will be joined tonight by a few guests. Thank you for joining us if you're here. Firstly, let's bring in the almighty Stephen. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, Raz. How you been doing, buddy?
I am good. Thank you for joining me as usual. I really, really appreciate it. I am just having a few stupid issues with my bloody computer at the moment. So, there we go. Can you try talking for a second?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I just had a few internet issues. Hello, Mr. Graves. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Anthony Graves.
Did you get a chance to see the show tonight?
Yes, I have.
Thought it was a solid show tonight. Loved the Dream Christian until the ending. We'll get into that as we do. How's your week been so far, Stephen?
The week's been doing good, buddy. No complaints.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do you have any opinions on what you saw tonight?
Dynamite's been a good show tonight. I'm sure we'll get into it with the Swerve match. I'm a big Swerve fan. I enjoy Swerve in the ring.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to the Mox versus Swerve next week.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good.
Banger.
I appreciate everyone being in the chat so far. That is really good to see you. And the devil is Emerald, like I say. I think there's someone who has an opinion on who the devil is. And it's the devil that's in the backstage area. The one, the only devil himself, ABJ.
That's right. I'm the devil, and I'm here to take over the landscape of professional wrestling.
How are you, ABJ?
I'm good. My body's getting acclimated. I mean, as the best I can to this new job. So, got to do our first live watch along tonight. That was exciting.
Yep.
More content coming from the ABJ side of things. Going live again for the first time in months is exciting. It was fun.
Hope I sound all right, by the way.
You sound good. You can sound however you want.
It's good to see you.
It's not my channel. I'm a little more picky when it goes on my stuff, but no. Thank you. I appreciate being back and watching and having live television again so I can watch professional wrestling again, which is exciting. I'm not watching the highlight clips.
So before we get into it, we have a question from the Anthony Graves pod in the chat saying, do you think Swerve should be someone to defeat MJF?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stephen?
Yep.
If you'd asked me a few months ago, I would have said no. But now, yes, 100%.
I think the story you're telling here is MJF has been burning the fuse from too many angles at too many times and making too many enemies, and now all of those enemies are coming back to bite him. He is a active defending champion, and he's getting hurt, and he's working hard, and he's getting more and more injured and more fatigued, and it's getting to the point where Swerve is on his upswing, and MJF is being attacked from all angles, and at this point, MJF can lose to anybody because he's just, and the story being told is everywhere he turns, someone's after him, and that's how a world champion, in my opinion, in a company should feel. It should feel that everyone wants that top prize and everyone's going for that top prize, unlike another company where the world champion's never there, and for the past 2 years nobody really wants the world title. I don't know. I like the way it's going. I think Swerve can be a fun person to beat the title, but I will see how it plays out.
Yep. And MJF's going multiple storylines too, and that's great.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. Like we have MJF crossing the lines with pretty much everyone in the company. So
yeah.
And that,
yeah,
and you're
imagine you're part of a stable who's been running the entire company for 3 years and fighting everybody and beating everybody up, but nobody joins the spans or goes after that guy for doing it. And then the other company, the guy has done the same thing for 3 years. Now everybody wants his neck. That's storytelling.
Anthony Graves with another take saying he may watch World's End since it's on his birthday. He's not too sure yet, though. Kind of curious to see what else will be on the card.
Yeah. World's End should be fun, interesting. It might be the time where the title changes. Who knows? It'd be interesting to see if they change a world title on television. It's been done before, but it could be a time at any point. Like I think right now with the MJF story, like we said, there's too many people going after him, the interference of what it may be, who the devil is, and maybe it is MJF, because now there's a layer where possibly MJF is the devil tonight. Maybe Roderick Strong was correct and he is faking his own injuries, and who knows, man. It's fun, but it can go either way. But I think World's End is fun, but it really comes down to this tournament. Is the tournament going to be a new belt that's defended, or is this new tournament going to be, hey, you win the tournament, you get a consolation prize like the Owen Hart Cup, and the next year somebody else wins it, but you win a title, but it's not something that's defended, but maybe winning the tournament gets you a world championship shot. That's kind of how I'm hoping it plays out. And if Swerve does win the whole thing, Swerve can circumvent the title picture and get in there and get a win and get out of there, you know?
Yeah. From what I got from it, they're going to win a title either way, because you're going to have the New Japan Strong title, you're going to have the ROH World title, and then they're going to win the Continental title, I'm guessing is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be, so they'll have that either way.
It's going to be interesting to see what that belt's going to look like too.
Yeah.
Graves with, I'm liking the work Rollins and MJF do, but I wish Reigns wrestled more and had more contenders. Wrestling is just a lot of fun right now, and I'm really excited to see how these stories play out.
WWE is trying to do the same thing they did with Lesnar, where they're like, well, people are cheering Lesnar and they like Lesnar even though he's the bad guy, so we're going to not have him on TV and everyone's going to complain that he's not there, and we're just going to rewash that with Roman, and hopefully it gets to the point where people start booing him because he's never there, and it's just not working because they don't care. Because if you look at the landscape of WWE in the last 5 years, they've been using that gimmick for the world title for far too long, where the guy who only holds the title is one or two guys, and it bounces between those two guys, and nobody else really gets a legitimate shot with it. And then when finally someone gets it, they go on long title runs, but they don't actively work during their title run. It's kind of, I don't know, it's played out to me.
Kai's come in with a take saying, I have my prediction of the devil being David Finlay and it being super underwhelming. As much as it is, as it was probably meant to be Cole, I don't think he'll be healthy in time for the story not to run dry.
Well, he can still be the devil and be hurt. That's why he has cronies that do his bidding for him.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What do you think, Stephen?
I agree.
Yeah. I think definitely this devil storyline is a interesting take. They've gone really in depth with it now. People are invested. I thought we were going to see a payoff tonight. We clearly didn't see a payoff tonight, which we'll get into at a later point. But yeah, I thought that we might see something. We did see a little bit, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do with it? And I'm guessing, as you said, World's End is going to be the payoff. where everything's going to get revealed.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Who knows? They might extend it even longer. Just hopefully they don't extend it all the way out to bloody.
Yeah, I don't think this is a one shot thing. I don't think someone's revealed and then it goes away. I think this story is just getting cooking. Like once you find the devil out, that doesn't mean that devil storyline's done. It's just
I
now
don't think they're going to extend it forever.
the new layer of the devil is, well, now the devil's here. He's cost MJF everything. The devil has cost him his title possibly, and now he's not so much going for the title. He wants the devil. And then you can get MJF out of the title picture where he's not focused on the title. He's focused on revenge.
Yeah. And Graves has come back with, I agree with ABJ with the take. I think Reigns is a better storyteller than Lesnar, but I wish there would be other contenders than Orton or LA Knight. Also, either MJF or Cole could be the devil at this point.
Yeah. It could be a lot of different people.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and that's one thing I think people have forgotten about that in that regard, is that AEW has so many options open to them. They don't just have their roster. They have New Japan. They've worked with Impact. They have plenty of options that they can use if they really want to. Like, you could bring someone in from Impact.
The roster's so deep. I don't think the working relationship is with Impact anymore. I think that's done.
Well, with the fact that Will Ospreay just got announced for January 14th on Impact. So
well, he already said, he goes, I'm officially signing with AEW, but I'm going to finish my obligations everywhere else.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's hey, I'm working for Impact. I don't think that's an Impact and AEW working together agreement anymore. I just think they're allowing Ospreay to go do what he wants to do, because right now, if you bring Ospreay in, you have nothing for him. He would just be showcase matches, like Ospreay versus this person, but they don't have a story for Ospreay. All the storylines going in AEW right now, whether people want to say there's no storylines in AEW or not, I think that's a stupid take. And if you're saying that take, you're silly. Sorry. But if there's no storyline for Ospreay, but he's still finishing up things to make him relevant, go let him do those things that make him relevant. And then when you have something that opens up for him, then bring him in.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, I think one of the things you brought up earlier tonight was Ospreay and Swerve. At All In.
I think Ospreay Swerve is the matchup for All In.
Yeah. I think that would be fantastic.
That'd be a great match.
I said to you previously, I was not a fan of Swerve when he first came into the company.
I thought you were insane.
But now he is just amazing, and he's grown on me, and that Texas Death Match definitely put him over the top. So
yeah, the guy's a beast.
Yeah. So we opened tonight's show with Rush versus Moxley for the Continental Classic. We've got a record here, guys. 3 weeks in a row, and Moxley has not bled.
It's a record.
3 weeks in a row, and Moxley has not bled on national television. What are we doing? What are we doing, AEW? Did we forget that is Moxley's job?
I think they listen to the takes and they're like, we probably should slow down with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the one thing is Moxley has led so much for this company and has carried this company on his back for so damn long. I think it's about time he got to rest and have that little bit of a showcase rather than just I'm going to beat the living shit out of everyone match.
I mean, he's doing that, but he's going out and he's working. He's obviously a front runner for the tournament, but now he's going to hit that. We're going to find out who they're putting their stake on now. Is Swerve the guy we think he's going to be, and is he the guy to beat Moxley next week?
Exactly.
And you might see Blood probably next week.
Myth of Wrestling. Happy to see the trio going from one stream to this stream.
We're trying.
The streak could be broken next week.
Graves goes, how do we feel if Forbidden Door has multiple promotions like AEW, New Japan, and TNA? could be some fire content there. Kind of hoping AEW keeps pushing and with storytelling, getting back to a strong point. And Mox is the GOAT for AEW, hands down. I think
You think Mox is the top guy in the company right now? I think it's MJF by a mile.
No, I think what Graves means by that is Mox has been the GOAT of the company because he's had the company strapped to his back when he needed it, when they needed it.
But I think the last year has been MJF's year. Mox goes out and does what you need him to do, but it's MJF's company right now.
Yeah. MJF is the king and the face of the company. It's more the fact that Moxley has had that ability to be in a storyline where it's at the bottom of or at the top of the card, as they call it, and then also in the main event as well. So he's been able to carry the company. And look at what happened when Punk was out. When Punk was out, they put the belt back on Moxley, let him carry the company because you didn't have many top stars who could do that.
So real quick, he says, I hope they push storylines and get back to a strong point. Do you think AEW is not at a strong point right now? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like when I do watch AEW as a weekly product and I watch AEW as a weekly product, I think AEW is a stronger story. I think they're stronger stories. I think they're stronger. I like their roster more. Like there's really, like, besides Punk going over there, there's really nothing that excites me on the WWE side. I like both of them. They're fine companies, but I think if you're pro WWE, you're kind of like AEW sucks. And I don't see what they see. I'm very curious of what they go like for me right now. Like if I was the bloodline thing is just dry for me. And the Judgment Day, I love every single member of that stable and they're super fun. But look at the bloodline, right? Like, well, look at what Judgment Day is doing right now. Who are they inserting into it right now to make it fun?
Truth. Yeah.
So R-Truth's the Sami Zayn of the blood of that, you know, like they're just rewashing it. Like it's almost like they do the same story but change the characters, and we're just kind of like, oh, this is fun. It's like that's what we just watched for a whole year last year. Give us something new. Like you have a great roster, but you're not utilizing it. Like I don't know. I just don't. I don't. I think both companies are fine. I watch all of it, but it's just like I think people are saying that AEW is at this low point. And I strongly disagree. I think they're doing good stuff.
Yeah. Myth coming in with saying Truth is amazing there though.
I mean, because Truth is entertaining. He's an entertaining person, but what do you?
But he's also a former multi-time world champion as well.
So here's the thing: are you going to build Truth up to be this genuine babyface heart that everyone's going to get behind, and the entire WWE universe is going to be like, Truth is part of this big stable, and he could be the one to disrupt everything, and he could be the one to win the world champion, and it's going to be really, really exciting, and everyone's going to be pro R-Truth and being like, R-Truth's going to win the world title, and then you're going to get to a pay-per-view, and he's going to lose his opportunity, and then the whole storyline starts over again. Like they're going to build him up like they build up Sammy, and everyone thought Sammy should be the world champion, but you're like, that's never going to happen. Like they're not going to pull the trigger on it. Oh. And now Sami Zayn is pre-show matches. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Graves says he's not really pro to one company. He just kind of got lost on AEW for a bit, but he's starting to get back into it. He thinks that just the Punk stuff got him lost from the product, and he doesn't think that AEW is at a low.
Okay, that's an interesting tape. I think the thing that did annoy me as an AEW fan was the back. Like I'm so, and that's kind of where I'm at now when I'm like going into covering mainstream wrestling, like making that a point to my content. I don't care about backstage nonsense. I don't care who hates each other. I'm covering wrestling from the aspect of what I'm being shown on the screen.
Yep.
Two people don't like each other backstage. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Graves again, my favorite time of AEW was from 20 to 21. Just love the stories they told, but I'm starting to get back into it again. Also, imagine R-Truth beating Roman Reigns.
Honestly, I made this call at the Sanctuary the other night, and I know this is not a WWE show, but like I would have R-Truth be the guy to beat Gunther. I think an IC title is good for Gunther to lose, and I think it'd be a fun change of dynamic from having this serious, straight face, dominant, beat you up champion, and then some goofball comes back, but the goofball is a legit contender and he can win titles and he can do everything he's got to do. And you give R-Truth a legit title run for at least a year or a couple months because he's probably doesn't have much left in him. He's an older guy, and let him go out there and roll with the IC title for a minute. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could even set it up so that it's R-Truth versus John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Him facing his childhood idol.
Yeah.
I still find that whole thing, just saying that, I felt stupid. But
R-Truth's amazing. He's super talented.
You're not wrong. He is. And look, he's a former NWA World Champion. He's a former multi-time NWA World Champion.
He's 49-time 24/7 champ.
Yeah.
642,396 time champ there, Stephen. You are wrong. But 100%. R-Truth winning that Intercontinental title, carrying it through for a bit would be amazing. I think it would be really amazing.
I don't think it's going to happen, but that's where I would give it to, but it's not going to go that route.
No. Anyway, let's get back to the show at hand that we were supposed to be talking about. Somehow we've ended up back in the realm of the E. Graves is going to head out to study, but it's always a great time here. Glad to see you all doing well. Miss you guys. Have a fun, great stream. Thanks, Graves. Hopefully we get to see you again soon.
Yeah, have a good one, Graves.
Yep. So after, obviously Rush versus Moxley, Mox wins by submission. What did you think of the match overall, Stephen?
I enjoyed the match, and I agree with Anthony on his watch-along. Rush got up pretty quickly after the tap out.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome there.
Did he tap or did he pass out?
The ref felt that he was going out, and the ref intervened and stopped it. So they kind of played into a MMA style finish where a guy's being choked out, the referee looks at him and sees him kind of go limp, and then they stop it, which you should do in a choke out. Like, so here's where wrestling pisses me off. A referee looks at that guy and sees him go, and the referee goes, he's out, and goes in and stops it, and
then lifts his arm.
Like, it's
to do it 3 times.
Let's stop with the 3-arm thing. Like, you can't 1 week stop a match like you did tonight, and then next week you're like, see a guy go out, and you're like, let me check his arm. Like, it doesn't work. Like, that's played out. That's an old wrestling trope that is I'm not a fan of it anymore. Especially if you watch legit fighting, and it's for how popular a chokeout is on my mainstream professional fighting. That should be the way to go.
MMA and
but
stuff.
he goes for the chokeout. He goes limp. The referee quick gets in there to protect him, and because the blood loss is there and he's going out, as soon as it's released, he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, I didn't quit. What are you stopping it for?" Because in a guy who's been choked out's brain, he's been there the whole time. He doesn't realize his body language. The referee's doing everything he can to protect him, and he could be like, well, you stopped it too early. You stopped too early. And it kind of keeps him strong, but it's still like it happens all the time in mixed martial arts. I thought it was a good finish.
I guess it keeps that kayfabe sort of style going.
Yeah.
In regards to it. So, and you're right. It gives it that real feel to it all. It gives it that real, it's a real sort of fight feel to it. And you're not I thought it was a good way of doing that finish. I enjoyed that finish a lot.
Yeah. I agree here.
Next up, we had Jay Lethal and Jay White video package, including footage from early ROH days. Just highlighting the fact of their careers and how Jay Lethal was previously the guy to beat, and now it's Jay White taking that turn. What is your thoughts on that, ABJ?
It's tough with Lethal right now because he is he's a legend, but he's part of a really, really big company. where it is a lot of younger talent that's dominating it, minus maybe a couple legends here or there. And it's tough. It's tough for Jay Lethal to stand out, but no matter what, when you put the guy in the ring, he's going to perform, and he's going to perform at a high level. So I know I can definitely see people's frustrations if you're a diehard Jay Lethal fan, that you hate the fact that he's getting used the way he's used. But I think they're doing everything right by him, you know. But Jay White is another guy right now that at any point in time you can pull the trigger on him, make him a world champion.
Yeah.
What do you think, Stephen?
Yeah, Jay White's on a different level. Jay Lethal, man. I'm a huge Jay Lethal fan, but I just didn't like how the direction AEW's doing with him. But I know what it is.
I mean, you cut your hair to be like Jay Lethal, didn't you? You used to have a whole full head of hair until you saw Jay Lethal.
Honestly, I like Jay Lethal with Jarrett. Like I like that pairing. I think they're fun to watch together.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they definitely are. Like, and as I said earlier this year, in 2023, Jeff Jarrett being on a farm and Satnam Singh being in coveralls, I didn't know I needed that. I didn't know I needed that in 2023. So after that, we go to Renee Paquette, who's on the stage this time. For the first time in a long time, she's on stage, and she brings out Roddy Strong with the Kingdom. And I think your head exploded when you saw.
Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle. The guy should have never walked ever again. He's been confined to a wheelchair. He can't get up. He's hurt. You know, the guy's spine has been just completely wrecked and destroyed. We thought we were going to lose another legend of this business to a traumatic injury. And in Christmas miracle fashion, this guy stands up. Like, he's back, baby. Roderick Strong is 100%. And he's ready. He's ready to go.
I think the
crowd at this point were also chanting, "You're a phony."
I don't know where they got that take. I think
that's from the. It goes back to, for me, that goes back to Family Guy, where Peter was playing the piano in the store, and it was a self-playing piano, and the guy, he is watching him, and then he says, "You're really good," and then he turns around and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "You're a phony. You're a big fat phony."
I don't know. I think we should be thankful. I think we just watched an absolute miracle. I think God works in mysterious ways. I think somebody got their prayer line synced up with the big man upstairs, and the guy's walking through his wheelchair. Doesn't even need it anymore. Threw it away.
Yeah,
we should be thankful.
Remember the shark?
I don't know what that was.
I don't know either.
You hear my brother in the background. Sorry.
Oh,
okay.
Thought your mom had a date tonight. I was like, oh,
no,
boy.
it's my brother.
I thought Mama Steven brought a boy over. I thought we might have to bring him in and have a sit down with him, make sure he has good intentions for Mama Steven. You know what I mean?
I wanted to get some duct tape. Shut up.
I've got some here. I can lend it to you.
But I mean, but this adds another layer. You know, this whole time we didn't know he could walk. Maybe is Roderick Strong the devil?
Rampage or Collision.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is Roderick Strong the devil? I mean, he kind of called it. Is MJF faking it? MJF's gonna leave you hanging. He's gonna leave you out there by yourself, and he's not gonna be there for you because he's gonna fake an injury. Roderick Strong called it. Is Roderick Strong the devil, or is MJF the devil? Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, we'll see later in the show something that relates.
Oh yeah,
to
I
that.
kind of buried the lead there. If you haven't watched the show,
Yeah. So it's to ABJ's turn to be the spoiler. ABJ is the spoiler this week. Thank you. So then we go to a commercial. We come back. Renee is backstage trying to get an interview with MJF. Instead, we get Hangman Adam Page. and Hangman said it isn't over with Swerve, and
Please
then
be
we
over
get
with Swerve.
MJF breaking into the show, like breaking into the interview, and we get a nice little back and forth between them, bringing up a little bit of the history of those two guys.
Yeah.
What did you think of that segment, Stephen?
I enjoyed the segment, man. Heyman and MJF. I wouldn't mind them having wrestle one-on-one.
Yep.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
No, go ahead, Ben. I lost my train of thought.
ABJ, what was your opinions on the segment?
I thought it was a good segment. It makes Adam Page a contender again. It reminds you that even though he just lost a rivalry, that he's still a top guy and he can be involved at any point in time. I'm hoping when they say that it's not over between him and Swerve, it's maybe something that they revisit in a couple months to a year and be like, well, remember when I said I wasn't done with you, like type deal. Because I think Hangman would be a good contender for Swerve if he does become the world champion, as like someone he finally puts behind him. Now he's a champion.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's something they should continue on with Swerve. I think Swerve and Hangman should part for a while, you know?
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's a part of them where they can touch back and be like, remember that banger we had? It ain't over. But it's something they touch on later down the road.
I think you, in a way, you put it in the fridge and leave it at the back of the fridge for a little bit, and then you come back to it in 6 months, and you go, "Oh shit, I've got this still here from 6 months ago," and maybe I'll just chuck it in the microwave and get it warm.
It's one of those things where you have such an iconic moment or part or historical situation with somebody, and you don't need to have it right then and there, and you can kind of slow play it and use it. I mean, for God's sakes, they put a storyline for MJF and Samoa Joe on something that didn't even happen in their company. He pushed them in a hallway, and now they used it in the storyline 10 years later, and now here we are. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fun.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's fantastic, and but this is the thing. AEW is brilliant at doing that. AEW is brilliant at taking little niche things that you may not think mean anything at the time,
that only the fans are talking about on a, you know what I mean? It's not something that's in their continuity or in their universe. Like, they're using a storyline from Chikara and carrying it over with Kingston and Claudio. They're using a backstage 30-second blip that happened on the radar of WWE and put it in a storyline here. Like, that is fun aspect about them. I totally agree.
Yeah. And it's creating a canon for if ever we get, I doubt it's going to happen, but if ever we get a crossover between WWE and AEW, it's creating that little bit of canon.
I mean, if wrestling has taught us anything, never say never. But if I don't think that crossover happens anytime soon.
Yeah. Not at the moment. I don't think it would happen at the moment, unless Cody Punk and Jade are all just like decoys.
I don't think that's the case.
Fantasy booking. That'll be our new show.
Booking.
Crazy fantasy booking, ABJ. That'll be our next show.
I think there's enough of that on the internet right now between people that don't know what they're talking about, booking nonsense. I think this would be fun. I'm like, yeah, but it's not free. Like, fantasy book something that can actually happen. You know what I mean? Like, I fantasy book Andre the Giant comes back because we get modern technology where they can resurrect a dead body and reanimate it, and he's going to be world champion again. It's about as believable as that.
Before Punk signed with WWE, my fantasy booking could still have been valid, but it clearly isn't. So, next up, we got another match in the Continental Classic, Briscoe versus Swerve. Give us your thoughts on this one, Stephen. What did you think of the overall match? What did you think of the way
the match was a great match. Swerve and Briscoe really nailed it, and I hope Swerve wins the tournament and gets the Continental Classic title.
Yeah. obviously, Swerve wins this one. Briscoe has now been essentially eliminated from any chance of winning the tournament because of the fact that he's lost 3 in a row. What is your thoughts on that, ABJ?
I think Briscoe's fine to be on TV. They're giving him the rub because they didn't put him on TV when they could have, and they only used him in ROH. I'm gonna maybe sound insensitive, but it's just Briscoe on TV right now just doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean? He's kind of just being used as a gateway guy, and that's fine. I guess you could say the same thing for Jay Lethal, but I think he's struggling as a singles competitor.
Yep.
I know he doesn't want to tag with anybody else, but if you're a tag team specialist, put him in a trios or something. I don't know, but it's tough. It's tough to watch him go out there solo, and you want to root for him because everything he's gone through, losing his brother, and then it's hard to root for him when he's out there losing every week.
Well, the Ring of Honor is looking for a TV title champion, so I'm assuming Briscoe might get it.
Yeah, but it's hard to say, like, then it doesn't look justified that he's a contender for the title because he's been losing every week to every top guy in the company in this tournament.
True.
And then it looks like, oh, we just put a title on him because it's I'm not trying to sound mean, but like a pity title. You know what I mean? Like, you lost your brother, you're on TV. We kind of oopsie, we didn't put you on TV because we didn't stand up for you to get you the access to be on TV. And the only reason you're on TV now is because unfortunately we lost your brother in a car accident. Our bad. We're gonna put you in a Continental Classic Championship tournament and put you against some of the top guys in the company. You're going to lose every single match, but then we're going to put a title on you after it's all said and done. That doesn't do it for me, you know?
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, you're right there. He is copying the sympathy push here because his brother passed away. They didn't bring him to TV. Warner Brothers refused to bring him to TV and refused to allow him on TV until after his brother passed away.
Well, here's the thing. This is the, like, I'm not trying to like pick on people, and I think if someone does do something that's not appropriate, like, you have the right to say cancel culture, right? But you can't cry cancel culture because someone says something you don't like, and then when you're like, well, they changed, we want them back now. Executives are terrified, and people are terrified, and companies are terrified to stand up and say, well, are we the people to give somebody a second chance? Or if we put them out there, are they going to boycott us? And are we going to lose half our fan base? So yes, they said stuff a long time ago, changed who they were as people and their viewpoints, but your cancel culture prevented them from being on TV. And it took a guy to lose his life to be like, yeah, we won't be mad if you put him on TV. So you created this narrative to say people can't change or change their viewpoints. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not wrong there.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
This is where that double-edged sword lies. It's like, because I'm one too. I was not a Briscoe guy. I didn't like their takes. I didn't like I think they had to right to believe that. I'm not a religious person, but according to people's religion, they are anti that stigma. You know what I mean? And you have every right to be that, but you can't. Like, if you cancel somebody, this is the repercussions of said cancellations.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Like, and this is the thing. I think with regards to cancel culture, there is so much that happens in the world, and people just jump on it so quickly, and they go to the point of, no, it's got to be cancelled, got to be cancelled, got to be cancelled. They forget that what has happened in the past is not necessarily going to happen again in the future.
Sure. If someone has said something 10 years ago and has a track record of saying like, hey, I've rescinded what I said, cool. But like, when the cancel culture stuff went hot, it wasn't like these guys just said it and then we're like, oh, well, this is how they feel right now. We don't want them around until they learn or say why they feel the way they feel, right? This was something that movement was like, okay, we're going to look at everything now, and then we're bored because we have not bored, but we don't have any more targets because no one's saying anything now. So now we're going to dig back into the past and find more people that we could put on our list, and they were part of that, you know?
Yeah. It's it's going back to people's past and thinking that they can't change because nobody's ever changed in their life.
Sure.
Nobody's
I always
many-
use as an example, one of the worst, and I'm not going to say the word, but if you know, you know. But one of the worst things you can do to somebody besides take their life is a different thing. And I'm sure everyone knows what I'm alluding to. It sucks just in today's day and age, you can't even say words if you're not using in the
Yep.
context of like, that's where we're at now. Like we can't say words. Like, you know, it's, I hate it.
Yeah.
Anyway. But Tyson went to jail for what he did.
Rape.
Well, technically, you can't say that word on the internet. That's how you get demonetized. But thanks, Stephen.
My apologies.
Yeah.
No,
That's why I'm saying
you know
can't,
what?
like, I'm
You
not
know
saying
what?
the
On
word
my
because I
show,
don't want to say it.
anybody-
I'm saying it because it could be something you can lose your spots on on platforms because of it. But he went to jail for this. But
the
he
words
has
you can say
proven
are sexual
he's a different
assault.
person, and he's now someone who is like a positive person to listen to and advocate for, and everyone seems to love him. But it's one of those things where it's like it shows where people's double standards lie.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Sorry, Kai.
I wasn't getting funny anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're still live.
Now we're canceled.
No, we're still live, so just say whatever
Here,
you want.
we'll pay your
And I'm not
fine.
sympathizing with people who have done bad things. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that when you do that, this like the repercussions of that movement is where we are now with the Briscoes. You know, I'm not saying it would have changed his outcome or a car accident. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the reason they haven't been on TV is because they were afraid of the cancel culture movement.
Another fine example of that is Marty Skrull.
That's
Like,
yikes.
like
There's more.
okay,
There's more layers to the onion.
There's more to that story that you and I know.
What
But
he
in
did. What he
saying
did
that,
do is not illegal
was-
in their country, but
exactly.
the way he tried to say, I didn't know, and I randomly met this person, and then you come to find out that no, he was talking to them for a while and knew of everything of that situation. That's where that's where it gets mud. The waters get muddy.
Yeah, but
Listen, in that country, you can walk into a bar and there's someone who's drinking that in our country they wouldn't be allowed to drink. You know what I mean? And like you can make a bad decision on night drinking in that country. And I'm not condoning it, but that's how he tried to sell the story. But that's not the way it went down. He was like, "Hey, I know you're underage. Meet me at the bar. We're gonna get drunk and go back home." You know what I mean? Like, allegedly.
in some countries,
Allegedly.
in some countries, there's marriage at the age of 13.
Yeah.
So, like, what's normal for us is not necessarily normal for other sides of the world.
It's a tough tightrope to walk.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing, like what we consider normal, we don't consider eating dogs and cats normal, but in some countries, they will eat domestic animals.
Agreed. Legal or not, it's still gross. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were our regular.
So Briscoe unfortunately loses here again, and we don't know what to do with him at this point, because at what point, where do we lie with Briscoe losing over and over and over again?
I think once again, it's sad that it's taken his brother passing to get him on TV.
Yeah. It's to a point where we wish we would have had this 2 years ago, and we didn't.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here and we're like, it's the what if, man. It's like, what if that didn't happen? What if the car accident didn't happen and we would have just allowed this guy on TV, and we could have got Briscoe storylines with FTR on live television? We could have seen Briscoe promos. You know what I mean? Like,
we could have seen Briscoe Bucks.
Yeah, it's just a giant what if, and it sucks, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. But I'm just saying it is. Oh my goodness, Jamie is a psychopath. I just pulled up my Instagram feed, and it says it's my friend Jamie Lynn Senegal, and it says, "I love sucking, you know what," and Britney Spears. That's her T-shirt she just bought.
Oh Lord,
funny. She's a gem. She's such a gem of a
If we
human.
weren't cancelled before, we are now, Stephen.
I didn't say the word. I said I love sucking lollipops or use your imagination and Britney Spears. Yeah.
You made Hunter excited. Hunter's a bit excited.
But yeah. Anyway, next match.
The next segment was Renee backstage with Mariah May, teasing that she's going to have her debut match, but not telling us who.
Yeah.
What do you think they're doing with that?
She'll probably get fed like Ruby Soho or something.
You reckon? What about you, Steve?
It's a win. He's not going to debut and lose.
Or Emi Sakamura or something.
Emi Sakura?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Next up was supposed to be the Samoa Joe and MJF versus the Devil's Minions, or whatever the hell you want to call them. But what? Making Hunter suspiciously turn his camera off and mute. Fucking Christ, if we weren't cancelled before, we will be soon.
I was pinching my cheek and just moving it. I don't know what that. Your mind's out of the gutter.
Oh, wow.
I'll be right back.
I know I say this. I know this isn't a PG rated show, but fuck. Okay. ABJ will be back. So here we got the Samoa Joe MJFs versus the Devil Minions. We don't get Samoa Joe, or we don't get MJF making his entrance to the ring, because as soon as Samoa Joe has made his entrance to the ring, the lights start fucking up and playing up. What do you think of that?
I was hoping to be a wrestling match, but it wasn't. So it's a good segment till the end there with try to bring it up, MJF.
Well, we got the minions circling around the ring, then the lights go out.
Yeah.
Joe's standing in the ring, and then we get the devil on the screen, and then it fades to the backstage where MJF has been attacked. I think one key thing to note here was the beer bottle that was supposedly used, the beer bottle. What do you think that has to do with anything?
Well, it's going to add more options. What everybody's going to think who's the devil's going to be. Some of them's going to think it'd be Jack Perry because of the broken glass segment.
Yep.
And some will be saying Hangman because he drank the beer bottle because of Hangman.
Yep.
So there's going to leave a lot of options open to people thinking who could be the devil.
Could we now introduce a certain beer drinker from Impact?
James Storm?
Yeah. As a potential
possibility.
I highly doubt it, but do you think we could introduce that as an option?
Could be an option, possibility.
I think, unfortunately, if it is James Storm, it would be very underwhelming. It needs to be someone. Hunter says this is as mystifying as a game of Clue.
Yeah.
Possibly. Oh, wow. Hi.
Lasertron.
Hi. I'm going to put the link in the chat in a minute, and I want you to get your ass on camera and justify your take here.
Okay? See what he says.
Well, real quick.
I really want Kai to get his
Frightful
ass on
Select
camera.
just tweeted something.
Oh.
So I've been saying this whole time, this Roderick Strong neck angle is symbolic to something. I think it's alluding to who I think is the member of this team, or a possible future member of this team. And Frightful Select, spoiler alert for people out there, has learned Kyle O'Reilly has been backstage at AEW as of late, being gone for a very long time. He's there. He's backstage. He's walking around.
Oh, snap.
Is he your devil? Or is he just part of that team?
Oh, Kai.
Was tonight
I do,
was tonight of him standing up out of the wheelchair symbolic, as in like, I'm standing up and I can walk and my neck's not hurt, but also somebody else's neck isn't hurt anymore either, and they're walking around and they're here.
spoiler alert for those who weren't paying attention before. ABJ is tonight's spoiler guest. So
Yeah, no, that Frightful Select just tweeted it. Like it just got tweeted. So
and I'm disappointed, Kai.
And Raz says I'm the spoiler.
I feel like
You
that
have
needed
been.
to be put out there.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. I'm disappointed in Kai not being able to come on tonight, but one day soon, we will get you on here, Kai.
We'll get you, Kai.
And,
we'll get you.
And as for those people sleeping, fuck them, wake them up.
Night's still young, so it's after 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on the Samoa Joe segment there, ABJ?
I think it was fine. I think it adds another layer to the story, and it gets people excited.
While you were gone, I did mention to Stephen the broken beer bottle. Could we possibly link James Storm to this?
Or Jungle Boy, because everyone likes that theory.
Yeah, that's what Stephen was saying. Jungle Boy because of the glass.
And if I can hear
James Storm because it's a beer bottle. The thing about Hangman is his was more in a glass, and it was whenever you'd see him, he's drinking out of a glass. Fuck no. The answer is no there, Kai. It is not Hornswoggle.
But what if
people need stilts?
Could you imagine?
He's on somebody else. Like it's one of those like where they open up the jacket and it's two people.
But seriously, could you imagine they've got this whole devil segment and out on the stage just walks this little dude in the devil costume?
Walks out with a little devil mask on. Or it's like one of those things where he looks really, he's up in front of the camera and then he just slowly turns around and walks away. But it's like one of those camera shots where he walks across the room and he just gets like smaller and smaller and smaller. It's Hornswoggle and Mantar.
Can't say. Or Dink. Dink the Clown. Oh shit.
Oh, man.
So next up we had Moxley backstage and Swerve interrupting. I liked this confrontation.
Yeah,
I liked it. I liked that we're getting Swerve interacting with some of the bigger names here, and one of the gatekeepers of the hardcore scene in AEW. What do you think, Stephen?
I like the backstage segment. It's going to be a great match next week. Could we see Mox bleed next week, or we might get a first draw also, possibly?
I think a draw would be a cop out. I think I think tomorrow, like I kind of said, the Hangman test is Swerve's test of if they take him seriously, if they're going to push him to the next level. Because like it's one thing to push a guy and let the crowd get behind him, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have your LA Knight treatment where the guy's top selling merch and he's all over the place, and then he gets to the pinnacle and they squash him. Sami Zayn gets to the pinnacle and he's gone. This is Swerve's first peak. I'm not saying it's the peak, but it's his first test where you go, someone has to win or lose here. Who are they going with going to the future? And Swerve beats him. And now immediately after that, he hits Jon Moxley. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is the slow rise of Swerve Strickland. If he beats Mox next week,
he'll win the tournament.
Wow.
I think if he beats Mox, he is definitely in line. They are definitely working with him to put him in line. I think that you are right. It's been that slow burn, and it has been something that he's needed to get him over. The Prince Nana dancing, that just happened as an accident, a happy accident that's pushed him even further. But I think that if he beats Moxley next week, we are definitely seeing a contender for the title and possibly walking into Wembley as the champion.
I would definitely have him walk into Wembley as champion.
Yep, I agree.
Because you could easily move the belt off of MJF to Swerve and keep MJF in a separate storyline where he doesn't need the belt, as you said. You have the Devil as his main focus, and that's what MJF's next advancement in his story is.
My personal take?
Yep.
I cool MJ after this whole thing goes. I think maybe the Devil takes MJ out and he gave the guy a couple months off.
Is that because you think he'll get a massive fucking pop when he comes back?
I would go that route. I would just give the guy time to rest and cool. Like here's the thing: pro wrestlers don't need to be on the road 375. I know I'm adding extra days, but they don't need to be on the road over 300 days out of the year. Like there's enough pro wrestling around, and you can be creative enough that people don't need to kill themselves to be in this industry and be away from their families. The guy worked hard for 4 or 5 months. He made some money. He grinded. Give him time off. He doesn't realistically. Last year, he stole the show in Wembley. Next show at Wembley, he doesn't technically need to be there. Give other people an opportunity to kill it this year. You know what I mean? Like you have Ospreay. Like it's time for the next guys to step up. That he cools off, and then bring him back when you have something creative for him. You don't want to oversaturate.
It makes
I don't think MJF has to be in Wembley this year. I think it's time. It's somebody else's time to prove they got it. This is like you look at, and you're gonna hate me, and I'm gonna refer to WWE again here. But you look at the women's division. When Charlotte wasn't there, it struggled. And then you're like, all right, the top player's gone. Now it's time for somebody else to be the top player. And if you can't grab it, then we got to bring this person back. And then they're shoving down in our face. No, you're showing that you couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't grab the attention of the audience. You couldn't move the needle. It's time for somebody else to be that needle mover.
I can see MJF taking time off after World's End, come back at Revolution.
I don't know if World's End is the move, but I think it does come soon where whoever this Devil is and he reveals himself, I think they might do an angle where he gets hurt and he's going away for a little bit. And I know that sounds crazy to think because you think that MJF did disappear for a while, but him disappearing and coming back did numbers for his character. It did numbers for his body. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think
with this all the time?
Do you think with this, if they're going to play this Devil card, are we going to then have them if it's not Adam Cole, are we going to have Adam Cole then take the spot of MJF afterwards to fill that gap?
If Adam Cole is
until MJF can come back.
Maybe Adam Cole is just like a ringleader. He's just like, okay, the kingdom is now strong. Kanellis, Shelley, and Kyle O'Reilly with Adam Cole as the leader. And he has his stable, and he has his 5 guys. And he takes MJF out. MJF fights valiantly. MJF goes away. And the whole time he's gone, everyone goes, oh, MJF wasn't the Devil. And now the Devil and his crew run ramshot of the company. And MJF comes back, and he's going to fight the Devil and his people. But you need some other people to join you there. So you have Adam Cole versus MJF. You need someone to take out the Kingdom. They just took out the Acclaimed, so there's 2 members with on his side. Samoa Joe, and then 5th could be Wardlow. Wardlow, you showed that Wardlow's like, yo, you were a scumbag, but now you've proven you're not. You need that 5th guy to be the factor to put MJF and his guys over the Devil guys. So everyone who's now a verse MJF and going after MJF, he has now earned their respect. He gets hurt, leaves, and when he returns to take out the Kingdom, he has backup.
Yep.
Yeah. I think definitely they will need to
You
do
heard it
the
here first.
backup
MJ,
situation.
This is why fucking ABJ is gonna take this shit over because I actually have good picks.
I think you're right on this, ABJ. I think they definitely need someone.
Either that or
If
just
they're gonna do
hire
it-
me for booking.
I was
If
going
they're
to
going
say,
to do it, they can't do it in the Sting terms of Sting and NWO sort of situation. They can't. They need that backup where, unlike on a certain other product, a stable's been running roughshod over the company and everybody's been afraid to go to them. They need that backup.
yeah,
And they set the blueprint that they took out the Acclaim. They took out. I mean, I don't think Billy Gunn has to be part of that 5-person team to be in there, but I think they took out the Acclaim. They take out Joe. They take out MJF, and then maybe they don't take out Wardlow, but Wardlow's like, this whole time MJF was
Hold on,
actually
guys.
right, and he wasn't. You're good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't
Sorry.
as bad as he. Just give us a thumbs up when you're ready, bud. He wasn't this guy that everyone thought he was, and then Wardlow's like, "No, I'm his boy. Let's go."
Kai with one of the worst takes that you could ever have. Do you think the devil could be multiple people, potentially a bunch of New Japan guys setting up for Forbidden Door?
I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think if you're gonna do booking, they all reveal and like, Chaos is here, or like our Bullet Club is. It's not just Bullet Club Gold. These are now Bullet Club guys here. You know what I mean? Maybe the Bullet Club take over as a devil gimmick. I don't hate that to set up Forbidden Door.
Then it turns in it's Bully Ray.
Sometimes you don't need to go crazy to make a storyline work. I think the safe bet is the devil is Adam. And then you already have the pieces of the kingdom, and then a returning Kyle O'Reilly makes sense. You know what I mean?
See,
I love
storyline
Bobby
wise,
Fish, but Bobby Fish
makes-
being replaced with Shelley and Bennett is a good replacement. That's a cool new undisputed era. Like that's a good stable.
See, for me, the problem I have here falls in the fact of so much investment into the Adam Cole and MJF bromance, really.
Sure, but every bromance has to come. Like this bromance was built on the fact that both of them are absolute scumbags, and who's going to be the first person to pull the trigger?
And
That's been the tease. That's been the tease the whole time. And every time they had the opportunity to do so, neither one of them took it. So someone's getting their heart broke. And what better way to make MJF your new Piper is by making it he's the one that. And like here's the thing too, MJF can come back and be like, I had the world title. I would like it again. But you know who should be a world champion that I held back? And now I'm going to help him become the world champion? Wardlow. What if MJF reverses the roles? He's like, yo, bro, I had your back. You had my back. Now I have yours. And he helps Wardlow become. And you helped me with the devil situation in that team. I got you, my guy. Let's get back and let's get you a world champion. Like, and MJF is using his power to put somebody else over. Like, there's so many different angles that MJF can go here. And then eventually he can be a scumbag and turn his back and then take the world title. And then we have MJF being like, he's so versatile. He's proven that in this year that he can literally do anything you ask him to do.
That he's been able to carry a company when people doubted him.
He's a goat, man. He is better than you, and he knows it. And
he's our scumbag.
He's our scumbag. I have that shirt too. It's in the.
He is our
what can I say? I'm a devil worshiper.
Moving on to our next part of the show, we had the guy from TCM, Ben Mankiewicz, or whatever the hell his name is, introducing Toni Storm for her match.
He's a director, I believe. I believe he's a director. Ben, what's his name? Ben
Mankiewicz.
Yeah,
he's one of the head guys.
I believe
he's one of the head guys at Turner Classic Movies. So,
oh yeah, he's that's what it is. He's like a classic movie guy, so that's why he's doing the classic Toni Storm timeless thing. Yeah.
Hunter says he gives a lot of crap to Axel for liking MJF and talking about him so much, but man, I'd be lying if I didn't say that MJF is probably the best wrestler of this decade.
I agree. I've been telling you this whole
That's
time, Hunter. So don't let
that's a
somebody
hot
else
take.
fandom ruining what's in front of you.
I mean,
Hey,
it's
Hunter.
Star Wars, though.
Hey, Hunter, what happens
Star
if the
Wars.
Acclaim's the best tag team of the decade?
I mean, if you look at the Acclaimed, they rose to the top while the
Steven
Elite.
has just got my video
and
reported
Kenny-
by Hunter.
Well, what I'm saying is the Acclaim became the best, like the most popular team in the world, while FTR, the Young Bucks, I think Hangman and Adam Page were still a tag team, or Adam and Kenny were a tag team. Like there were hot Lucha Bros were there, like every single tag team who are like the pinnacle of the tag team division. And I used to say everyone loves the Acclaim until they meet FTR, and then they met, and I was like, yo, they still love the Acclaim. Like that's and you know who else snuck into the whole thing the whole time and became popular and they show their top tag team? The Guns.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
Like the Guns,
killing
although one of them has the charisma of a wet blanket.
I disagree. I think he's slowly figuring it out.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I think he just has the charisma of a wet blanket. So at this point in time, there's a reason why FTR are the top guys. FTR better than the Acclaimed. So we had Ben Mankiewicz introduce Tony Storm. Then we get the Tony Storm versus Sky Blue for the AEW Women's World Championship. Cameraman working overtime on this one, getting paid the big bucks. It was on your watch along. Many people pointing it out.
Yeah,
there was
a great job, by the way, too.
There was definitely some peaches on the screen, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for the actual wrestling. The eye candy is fantastic, but I think this was a good match. I think that we got a real strong showcase of what the women's division could be if it keeps going in this direction.
Yeah. I thought Sky Blue put a good show on, and also Tony Storm is just getting this character over. She's working overtime. She's selling the moves differently. She's reacting differently. She's just killing it.
I like the fact that they went with the gray and black for her ring attire as well. Like,
yeah, I don't need the gray and black when she's posing during the match and doing all that. Like, I get what they're trying to do with they're trying to recreate the best friends where the camera zooms out, or they're trying to give her iconic thing. But I think
they're trying to give her the 90s, 50s starlet sort of style.
I agree, but they're trying to give her that moment during the match where they can do something quirky to be like, oh, this is like how best friends, when they hug, they zoom the camera way out. When they do double clothesline, they do something fancy. They're trying to find that with Tony Storm, and they tried 3 times during this match and didn't quite get it. Like when she was doing this running shot with the butt in the corner, she posed like she's doing the pose, and she did it in the corner. And every time she does this pose, it's like a signal for them to switch to black and white, but they're not getting it in time. If they can clean that up and make it work, and every time she does this, they go black and white, and maybe like, you know what I mean? Fine. But
I think
at the beginning of the match, and then when the match is over and they raise her hand, cut it to black and white. But in between, too much.
If they're going to do it, they should pull it as a whole match thing. Just the matches in black and white. But that loses focus for people, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Because it would remind, I think it would remind people too much of the Bray Wyatt and the Red Lights matches. The way they did those, which hurt the fuck out of my eyes every time I watched those matches.
Mm-hmm. So you calling Mariah May versus Tony Storm at All In?
I think that could be a way to go. Yeah.
Well,
I think if we could, I think at All In, if Tony Storm's still got the belt, I think it's Jamie Hayter.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
add
I think
Hater,
I
make it a
think
triple
Hater.
threat.
I think Hater, but I think that what's her name could definitely be involved, possibly outside.
I think if they're going to push Tony until All In as the champion, I think that they don't announce her opponent, and then you just have Wembley erupt as Hayter comes back for that match, because people will mark the fuck out over in London for Hayter. That would be a huge return. Right. If you could hold her, if you can hold her out and say Tony Storm's going to have a match, but not announce her opponent, and then you just play Hayter's music in Wembley, people are going to lose their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
if they can hold it out that long, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
August is a long time away. Long time.
We've held out for Thunder Rosa at the moment, so
yeah, but Thunder Rosa didn't leave with the pop that Jamie Hayter had going for her.
No.
That is true. That is true. So we get Tony Storm retaining the belt here.
Need Britt Baker on TV more.
Britt Baker.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get Tony Storm retaining the belt. We also get a return at the end of this match.
Back from catering.
Not a return we thought we wanted in the women. I might sound terrible or I might sound mean here. Riho doesn't do it for me.
That's fair.
If you're a fan, more power to you. That to me, that doesn't pique my interest. Riho returning.
I think she's great in the ring. I think she's got skills.
Does
think
Riho
she
beat
was a
Toni
great.
Storm right now?
No,
I say no.
I think she was a great first world champion, considering the original plan was for Britt Baker to be the world champion to start with.
I would have loved Nyla Rose as the first champion,
but they went with Riho instead, which was fantastic. As you said, Nyla Rose would have been a good choice, but Nyla at that time also knew that she wasn't ready to be a world champion.
I disagree. I look at Riho and I look at Nyla, and I know Nyla was hard on herself with, I don't think I was TV ready, but I don't think Riho was there either, to be honest with you. And if I
think at that point in time, because they were such a young company and it was a brand new company, that I think that they didn't know who to book as their first champion in that regard.
And I think it would have made more sense if you put a heel as your champion and let the heel build up story for that title. I mean, Riho did fine, but I mean, like, let me look back here real quick.
Because they knew going in, Jericho was going to be the first ever world champion. They knew that was the smart move to keep the eyes on the product, to keep the eyes on the company. Have your first ever world champion as an established name.
Like, who beat Riho for the championship? Was it a big deal? That's what I'm trying to think of right now.
Riho,
I think it was Britt Baker, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Nyla. Nyla then went on to beat Riho.
Yeah.
See, I would have flipped that. I would have had Nyla win and then Riho chase.
Yeah, but at the time, Riho was red hot at the time.
It went Sheeta, and then from Sheeta to Britt Baker to Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
but Riho was red hot at the time. So
wait,
she was.
Toni Storm's a 3-time champion.
Yes, because they count her interim world title win as a world championship.
Yeah.
The interim world title, and then they did a unification. Where she and when she lost, they said she was going to come back and she was going to be the world. They counted her interim world title run as a proper world title run.
Yeah.
So yes, she is the first ever 3-time world champion.
So everyone gets mad at me for saying so. Sheeta had her for 372 days as a women's champion. And I'm going to be honest, it didn't. She had it from May 23rd to May 30th the next year. Didn't do it for me, right? I just that title run did not do it for me. Then she wins it back for 25 days to drop it to Saraya. Then wins it again for 39 days to drop it to Tony Storm. Crazy.
I thought Statlander's title run with TBS title was bad.
I don't like the way they started it by almost like handing it to her when she beat someone who already just wrestled a match.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that cheap cash in, but it was that return cash in. Yeah. I don't think her title run with the TBS title was a very strong title run.
Yeah.
But
I think she's turning something into it now, but I just don't feel like the TBS title gets enough. It's getting TV time on like Collision and Rampage, and it's not getting the TV. Like,
I ain't gonna lie.
Like Tony's getting some TV time right now, but like there's not someone who is a contender for Tony that we care about yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A video package for Jay Lethal, not Jay Lethal, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, highlighting their history. Don't really need to go into that. The next match was Jay Lethal versus Jay White in the Continental Classic. Where do we start on this one?
Wait, which one? Lethal and White?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of the same of Lethal kind of going out and taking some losses here, but it doesn't bother me once again because Jay Lethal goes out there and performs. You know what I mean? Like he's out there killing it. Like he takes a loss, but he's taking strong losses, if that makes sense. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a matchup that on paper I don't mind seeing. You know what I mean? Maybe I just give Briscoe a little bit of that stigma because I see him more as a tag team guy than I do a singles guy, and we're kind of stuck seeing him in singles when we want him to be tag team, but unfortunately we can't. But I think Jay White's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean Jay Lethal. Sorry.
I think that this was a great match. I think that because of the fact that Jay White previously had lost last week, there was that bit of, is Jay White gonna lose again this week? But we had a good back and forth. I'm glad that Jay White was the winner. I'm glad that they've kept his momentum going. I don't think he's going to be the one to take out the Gold League. I think obviously we know where our opinion lies on that. Our opinion is that Swerve's going to be the one to take out the Gold League. But I think keeping Jay up towards the top is a brilliant move.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that blue bracket's wide open, though. Who's going up? Yeah. We all think is going to blue bracket.
I mean, it seems like they're really pushing Brody King. That's maybe like whoever wins has to go through the monster on the blue side. You know what I mean?
Well, there's our blue bracket. We've got the blue bracket right here. So
there is a little bit of a spoiler going on right now. If you haven't heard already, maybe stay away from the internet when it comes to the match with Danielson and Garcia. I mean, I'm really heavy on Andrade winning the blue bracket, but I also don't care if it's Brody King and then Swerve has to go through a monster or a giant to win, and gives him more relevance if that's the route they're going, you know, or even Moxley, if Moxley has to go through the giant, and maybe we get like a BCC versus the House of Black storyline.
Well, this is the thing. You've got Brody King dominating the Blue League. You've got Swerve dominating the Gold League.
Well, Swerve and Moxley dominating the Gold League.
Yeah. So you've got both of them. You've got Castagnoli taking on Kingston on Collision. That's going to be a strong-ass match. You've got Danielson versus Andrade. You've got Daniel Garcia versus Danielson on Rampage.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. Jay White is currently sitting at 6 points with a loss, but when whoever Moxley and Swerve Strickland loses, like Jay White's right there in the mix for second place in the bracket again.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So does it go that the brackets go and then whoever the highest scoring in wins it, or is it the two highest scores go against each other to go to the finals to face the winner? Is it like what I'm thinking of it? Is it like football where everyone gets points, finds out who the number one seed is, then the number one seed takes on the number two, and then the winner of that match then goes on to fight the winner of the number one and number two in the blue league?
I'm
Or is
guessing
it-
the winner of the blue bracket and the gold bracket wrestle at World's End.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying is does like if Moxley loses to Swerve but Swerve wins out, can he fight Moxley again later to find out who wins the bracket?
No.
You know what I mean?
No, so the top two in each bracket, or the top one in each bracket. So you say Swerve wins that the gold bracket, and
Because they don't really
let's
say
say
anything. Like the rules of the tournament is just a time limit draw, 3 points, one for a draw. Everyone's banned from ringside, but it doesn't say like most points
it's
at
the
the end
same.
wins.
It's the same as the G1, where the whoever's in what bracket will end up facing off, and until there is two one-on-one, like there is a one-on-one match at the end of it with the two top guys facing off. So Swerve and Brody King could face off at World's End as to determine who's the champion.
So what if there's a tie?
Then it would probably be a three-way match.
It'd be a triple threat or something.
It'll either be a triple threat, or they'll end up having whoever's in the brackets, or whoever wins the blue bracket, or like whoever's tied in the blue bracket will probably wrestle first and then face the winner of the gold bracket at the end of it.
Okay.
Make sense, ABJ?
Yeah. So Moxley
Or
has
used to
has to wrestle Strickland and Jay White. So Moxley's two fights to leave the tournament are the two top guys in the bracket right now. Swerve has to then go against Moxley and Roosh, which is not easy either. Roosh has to do Strickland and Jay Lethal. He should beat Jay Lethal, which should get him to 6. And then however it works out with Swerve should be a big deal. Briscoe, it doesn't matter at this point. Even if he could just play spoiler to Jay Lethal to Jay White. Essentially, he Briscoe could be the one to knock Jay White out of contention if somebody were to lose between Mox and Swerve. Yeah. Jay Lethal is kind of in the same boat. He can play spoiler actually for nobody, because the only two people Jay Lethal has to wrestle is Roosh, and he's going to end the tournament wrestling Briscoe, which is kind of like a feel-good moment. Because they were friends, and they had
Did
that
White
match
wrestle?
before.
Did White wrestle Briscoe?
No, not yet.
Yes.
He did, but not for the tournament.
Yeah, no, that was last week, wasn't it?
I think so.
No, he
No.
hasn't. He lost.
that
to
was
Jay
Swerve
White, he
last
lost
week.
to Moxley, and he lost to Swerve Strickland. He has to wrestle Roosh and Briscoe next, and then Jay White has John Moxley next, and he has Mark Briscoe next. So Jay White has to work Mox and Briscoe. Over on the blue side, Danielson has King, Andrade, Castagnoli, and Garcia. He pretty much has to wrestle everybody still. He only wrestled Kingston.
Yep.
King has to do Garcia, Andrade, and Danielson. Andrade has only worked Garcia. Claudio has lost to King and has a win over Garcia. Garcia has not won any, and Kingston has not won any.
Brody Keen's in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah. Garcia still has to, Garcia could still play spoiler for Danielson. He could still play spoiler for King, and Eddie Kingston can play spoiler for Andrade, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
But we'll still get Kingston versus Claudio at some point too, which is it won't mean anything, but it's a
That's
matchup.
on Sunday. That's on Saturday. That's on Saturday.
But it's a matchup that you're like, oh, that could be crazy.
But we saw it recently with the ROH World Title on the line. So, yeah. Next segment is our main event of the night. This is where my internet crapped out, and I apologize for that. We got Christian versus Adam Copeland. Stephen, you spoiled it last week. You called it
I almost
last
got
week.
it right.
Yeah. Hunter says this was a solo point of the night for me. The match was fine. The ending was to be expected. The execution of the ending left me underwhelmed. Called it last week, Stephen.
Yep.
It wasn't a low blow, though.
No, it wasn't, but I know she's going to interfere.
Yeah. I think this was obvious. This was way too obvious. There was going to be interference. It's shit because it was predictable in that regard. I'm let down by it. I thought they could have, but I guess what we're doing here is we're pushing to a further match down the line. Thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Beth Copeland.
ABJ?
Yeah, no, so I really want to watch Beth versus
Never
Nick Wayne's
know.
mom in a match. Like, is that the blow off? Is she wrestles?
It might do a mixed tag. I don't know.
I
It
don't
might
know.
just make it sound awful.
It is awful. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Is Nick Wayne's mom a wrestler?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know.
No.
Um,
The only thing I know is that she fucked Buddy Wayne, so
Yeah.
and made Nick. So
she made a kid. No, the only thing that I don't like about the way it was done is you shouldn't have came out and held the title and looked like you're confused on who you're gonna hit. Like, why are she's the whole time she stared at Adam Copeland, like, and she would like look at Adam Copeland like, I'm gonna hit you, and then she'd look over at Christian, it's like, I'm gonna hit you. It's like, well, why would you even think about hit unless there's this part of the story I'm not seeing?
Yeah,
What
because
happened
last week Copeland concertoed Nick Wayne. No, it wasn't last week. It was the week before.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, sorry.
Then that checks out.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
All right, then it makes more sense. I don't hate it as much now. I missed that piece, so that piece changes it for me because you concertoed my kid. I know he's a dick, but he's still my kid, and this guy's still trying to be a father figure to him. I guess I don't know. I don't hate it as much now.
Daddy.
It doesn't. I think it took too long to get done. I think the ref spot took too long, and he got kicked in the nuts. He couldn't turn his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ref probably take a peek, like, okay, now get it over with. Come on.
Yeah, it took forever.
That was kind of like
I have a little breakthrough, a little announcement again.
That was kind of like
8 hours ago.
Wait.
It has nothing to do with wrestling. It's figures. It's figure news. The next Blood and Guts figures have been announced.
Oh,
okay.
They will be Darby Allin and Brody King, Blood and Guts figures.
Ooh.
oh.
She was a wrestler as Shayna Edwards and also a part of a wrestling family. There you go. Jake chiming in with, I think we get a rematch between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the TNT title at World's End, with Adam Copeland walking out as the new TNT champion, potentially.
Here's the thing. AEW has filed trademark for a tag team name, the East West Express, which is Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. What if their first team up for Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver is Edge and Adam Copeland? Is Adam Copeland and Christian? What if these two young kids' first time tagging on a major show is against Edge and Christian, or Adam and Christian?
Do you think maybe what happens is, because we've got Nick Wayne's mum involved, do you think she wins back her son, but she turns on Christian, or they turn on Christian at World's End?
Here's my bit. I don't need Nick Wayne's. I think this is ruining Nick Wayne. I think Nick Wayne's mom being involved is diminishing Nick Wayne as a talent. Let the kid.
Unlike Sue.
I get it.
Unlike
Nick Wayne's
Sue.
mom is good to look at. She's a very attractive woman. You know what I mean?
Some people's eyes.
You don't think she's good looking?
I haven't really looked at her.
She gives me Stifler's mom vibes. She gives me Stifler's mom vibes.
Also, before we continue going on that rant, if you want to join the show, click the link that's just been shared. It's in the chat for you. Come join the show. Tell us what you thought. If you've got a really shit take, you won't last too long.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm just here as a guest for tonight. You and Steven have been holding this down. I'm going to bow out. So thank you
No,
guys
you're not.
for
No, you're not.
thank you guys for having
No,
me. And then you bring guests in, and they'll do their takes. It is
Okay.
also 11:45, and your boy is not used to staying up this late.
ABJ,
So-
thank you once again for joining me. I really
you, buddy.
appreciate it.
Thank you for
Like, it's
having
always
me.
good.
I will be doing this more often. Probably, maybe. Well, I'm off next Wednesday too. I did a shift trade, so I'll be able to stay up a little later and hang out with you guys again tomorrow, next Wednesday. But Wednesdays I have work. I'm going to do the live stream, and then I'm probably going to go to bed. But thank you
That's
guys
fair.
so much. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the show, and hope
Take
these
care, my
takes
friend.
aren't too terrible.
Take care, buddy.
Cool. Okay, so ABJ is bowed out. Thank you for coming, ABJ. Really do appreciate it, and it's always great to have you on the show. Okay, I guess we've got to bring in the first of our hot takes, Mr. Hunter Dillon.
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
Hello, what the?
Doing fantastic. Just finishing up putting the material together for the games tonight. And as I said, yes, that main event was probably the 1 weak point of the whole night. I mean, the match was good. We kind of expected Nick Wayne's mom to get involved in some way, shape, or form. Steven called it over here. I think I owe him some money. But the way they executed it, I just kind of wish they'd have done it better.
Well, the ref bump. They took too long. The ref bump. I agree with Anthony on that one.
Yeah, the ref bump, that was a little much. I think Nick's mom being hesitant on what to do, that kind of bogged it down. Yeah, that was a really rough one. That was a rough one to watch.
Okai's got a good question for you, Hunter. How many skip cards tonight?
Well, we've retired the skip cards, but if I were to bring them back, this would probably be the only one.
Okay. That's good.
Everything else on the show seemed to be good. I kind of disagree slightly with the whole what's her name? With the 1950s noir film noir look.
Tony
Storm.
Tony Storm. I kind of like the gimmick. I actually kind of like it. Bring them back.
I do agree with Anthony, though. It is kind of annoying to keep going black and white to color constantly back and forth the whole match.
I would just keep it black and white just for the entrance. Just for the entrance. That's it.
I think for the entrance and for the ending, where if she wins, she gets the moment in black and white. I think, like Anthony said, segments through the match are not working out at this point. At this point in time, I think if they're going to do that, what they need to do is they need to go to a sound studio or go somewhere during the week, film segments and film matches, and have the cues set up perfectly before the matches, and then execute it, because otherwise it's not going to work.
That could work.
Probably what they should have done. Sorry.
Also, Kai, as I said, it's because you're a damn theater kid, so that's why you love this.
Everything else during the evening was fantastic. A couple of things I want to point out. Ben Mankiewicz introducing Tony Storm. I've not heard that name since he and Ben Lyons did At the Movies, and I still miss Siskel and Ebert. Rest in peace, you two wonderful movie critics. And number 2, John Moxley, quit shutting down my casino.
You're going broke with how many times he has not bled.
I know, right? The house always wins. Obviously, it's
The
not
house
my
is
house. It's obviously not my house.
Gotta quit box bleeding now.
Jake has come in with, I would have gone with a much different outcome than having Nick Wayne's mum come down and hit Adam Copeland with the TNT title. Jake, sound off in the comments, or if you want, the link is right there. You know what to do.
There,
come
Jake,
on in,
buddy.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
Happy to have you if you want to.
I honestly would have done like freaking, instead of Edge, or not Edge, but Christian low blowing the referee, he low blows while the ref isn't looking, he low blows Copeland instead. That probably would have worked out a lot better than having him low blow the ref and then the whole ref bump thing just dragging down the whole.
See,
ending.
the problem I have is that Stephen and I predicted that this was exactly what was going to happen. There was going to be interference from Nick Wayne's mum.
Yep.
Yeah.
We predicted this, and this is where it was ultra predictable in that regard, which sucks because they should have done something different. You could have easily done something.
Don't.
I love characters in the story, but I also tend to shut down when the actual matches come on. Probably why Lucha Underground was such a delight for me. And he said also, or Kai also said, low blow Nick Wayne's mum. I mean, you could. It ain't going to do much unless.
In theory, you could. Edge gave her a concerto last week, so.
I mean, unless they are part of that community there, Kai, like, but I'm pretty sure Nick Wayne's mum has had a kid, and we know that because Nick Wayne's mum is in the name, so. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Thank God that thank God I wasn't. I had a joke. I'm not going to say it. It's going to get us all.
Oh,
together.
say it. Don't care.
No.
Just say it.
No.
Yes. We've already had rape said on the show.
Now you got me wondering.
We've already had the word rape said on the show. You might as well say something.
In which I very, very apologized.
Don't worry.
I apologize to all of the mothers who are watching this program right now. Please send your complaints to me. It would be acceptable for Edge to low blow Nick Wayne's mom if Nick Wayne's mom had her tubes tied. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
See, I told you we're going to get canceled and it's all my fault.
I mean, no, we would have been cancelled already but we haven't been. We've still got 5 people watching apparently. So
please send all your complaints to me.
Care of HunterDylanDoesn'tGiveAFuck.com.
Okay.
Overall, Hunter, what did you think of the show overall as a show?
Apart from that ending, it was a really good show. I would give it out of a possible 10. I'd probably give it an 8.5 or 9. Pretty good. Can't wait to see what happens next week. That devil storyline is really what's intriguing me. I feel like I'm playing Clue, except it's taking the span of multiple weeks to figure out who the hell is behind that mask.
World's End.
It's Colonel Mustard. No.
World's End. We'll find out for sure. Who's
I
think Raz is going to be like this.
Possibly. But there
you go.
The devil will be revealed.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
I wonder if AEW shops got those masks.
No.
That would be pretty cool for them to sell.
Saying rape won't get you cancelled. It's just more a respect thing to not indirectly bring back trauma towards victims. This is true, Kai. This is why the word sexual assault has become a bigger thing in the world these days. And
Precisely.
He's not wrong here. He's not wrong here. Or sorry, Kai is not wrong here, Hunter. You have said even worse shit. So you're safe.
That's a relief.
Like, and look, we can be controversial. You know what? People take it the way they want to, and if they don't like what they hear, that's generally a them problem. If it is something really bad, obviously we will apologize for it. So
yes, exactly. As children.
Yes, they've been annoying me throughout the whole damn show, and they were annoying me through Dynamite as well.
They're trying to hog your camera time. That's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think we're going to get out of here for the night. I really appreciate every one of you being here. I really, really do. It's been fantastic. You guys are fantastic. And
thank you
hold
for
on.
yep.
Sorry, guys.
No problem, Raz. No problem, buddy.
Even though you had your microphone muted, I could feel your yelling from over here.
You know it. You know it all too well. I appreciate everyone sticking around in the chat. Thank you so much. Hunter, thank you for jumping in when you did. Stephen, as always, fantastic to have you here. Hunter, do you have anything to plug before we go away?
Well, Logos by Hunter, as you're well aware, I'm on a little bit of a break right now because of trying to get myself out of creative burnout. But I should be back in January making logos for wrestlers and content creators and podcasters. If you want to hit me up when I'm off break, which should be at the start of the new year, Logos by Hunter on Instagram and Twitter, or X. I prefer to call it Twitter. You can also
provide you logos for Pornhub or OnlyFans.
Anyway, you can also follow me on my personal page, on my personal socials, on the Twitter and the YouTube, the Twitch, which I'm still taking a break from Twitch. I might be back to doing that in the new year, and YouTube at Hunter Dillon 95. Hi.
Kai, I've got one question to ask, and one question only. Is it 6'4" or 240 pounds?
The look on his face.
Got the rule too. We don't expose what I do behind closed doors.
The door is not closed. You're on camera.
That's the forbidden door.
You're on camera, my friend. So you can't have a closed door right now.
I controlled my head.
I mean, you probably do, but that's a different story.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at Hunter Dillon 95. I also host game shows over on ABJ's Discord. We're going to be doing some Super Millionaire tonight. We'll be doing some concentration. And with enough interest, I might be doing a game of the $100,000 pyramid if anyone's interested in a little bit of word association. So,
but what he won't tell you is that he refuses to do 100 millionaire.
No, that's too rich for my blood. Even my prize budget won't allow for that. Anyway, that's all I have to promote before people start telling me, get freaking Raz back on the camera there. Okay, there we go.
Steven, do you have anything to promote?
No, I don't really have a social media presence, but I'm just a diehard wrestling fan.
You are welcome to promote the fact that you are here, that we love you, and you can join that you're here pretty much every week. You are my go-to guy.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And once again, you can also find Steven on Pornhub and OnlyFans. I myself, I do not have a Pornhub. I do not have an OnlyFans. I refuse to. I've broken Hunter. I mean, I send dick pics to Hunter anyway, so that's a whole different story.
Liz! Hi, I think we're all going to get canceled. This is the last one. This is the last AEW Dynamite post show. We'll see you in hell.
Steven, Kai's found your content. He's found you. He found you on Feet Finder.
Oh my
God.
Boy, we're definitely canceled now.
If we weren't, we are. And if the AEW is watching now, like,
we're sorry.
Hunter be like, when the fuck did I get dick pics?
Talk about all this on the Discord.
If you want to keep up with everything Raz, you can find it at RazDarkWolf on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch. You can find it on Instagram. Hell, you can even find it on TikTok. If you really want to do anything, join the ABJ Discord. There is plenty to do. There's chats, there's games, there's Hunter exposing himself on camera.
Even Hunter doing the Prince Nod dance.
Hunter's having a lot of fun. But
No.
You just peeked out there, Hunter. You just peeked out there.
Just no.
But if you want to join the Discord, join the ABJ Discord. You can find it in all the links. You can find it on ABJ's server. It's a great time, and if you are into if you're into local wrestling, ABJ does the podcast, the ABJ podcast, with his all local wrestlers from around Philadelphia and stuff like that. I don't know whether or not I bring up that message. Fuck it. What about the docking, Hunter? In 2024, if you keep an eye out, you might be finding a certain person that's in our chat. Kai will be working with a new up-and-coming pro wrestling company in Kansas City called Fountain Pro Wrestling. That's going to be great. Also, check out Chase from CR Media and our boy Anthony Graves, who was in the chat earlier as well. Check him out as well.
Follow all the people.
Click that like button. Go follow everyone. We will see you guys all again next week if we are not cancelled and if we have not received a takedown letter from AEW or YouTube. It's been lovely. Thank you guys. Take care and have a wonderful evening. What has he said?
Oh no. Oh no.
No, I'm not putting that up. No.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care, friends.
Take care,
No,
guys.
wrong one. I'm going to play that and get that.